Welcome back to our advanced Apache Pinot series. I'm Victor Gamov with StarTree, and today we're kicking things off with foundational step, setting up your very own Apache Pinot cluster. If you gearing up for development or preparing for production, this video will get you started right away. You can run Apache Pinot virtually anywhere. You can run this on your computer by downloading zip file. You can run this in Docker Compose file. You can run this in Kubernetes. You can run this in public clouds. And also, you can run this in the StarTree cloud, which is the best managed service for Apache Pinot. Now, in this course, we're going to be using Docker Compose in order to run this locally. Let's talk about what Pinot cluster actually is. At its core, a cluster is a collection of servers or processes that work together to handle your data ingestion, storage, and query processing. A typical Pinot cluster consists of several components: controller, broker, server, and minion. Controller manages cluster metadata, broker handles query routing, and server stores and processes data in segments. Minions perform different sorts of maintenance tasks. Okay, we will be using Docker Compose to set up our cluster. If you haven't used Docker Compose before, it's a tool that allows you to define and run multiple services in containers using Docker. For this module, you can find Docker Compose file in corresponding directory of cluster creation. This Compose file defines all services that we need to run our first Pinot cluster: controller, broker, server, and zookeeper that we'll be using to store some of the metadata. So let's talk about controller a little bit. Controller is a service configured to manage cluster metadata. Broker is a service that your application code communicates to. If you're using your Java or Node.js or Golang applications, they will be talking to broker and send the queries to the broker. Servers will be used to process data and return the response to broker when you query it. And now you have it. Our Pinot cluster is up and running, and you see all the services and ready to go. Let's access our Pinot cluster using Pinot UI to make sure everything is configured correctly. You can always open your browser to the port 9000, and you can see configuration of your Pinot cluster, how many components, how many brokers, how many controllers. You will be able to see table configuration. You will be able to configure your table. So everything that you can do in Pinot, you will be able to do through Pinot UI. Setting up Pinot cluster might seem like a tedious job, but as you can see, with the help of Docker Compose in declarative configuration, it was actually not that difficult. If you run into issues, I would highly recommend to check out the code on the GitHub and get a working example out there. If you will still experience any troubles, join our Slack community and ask questions in troubleshooting channel. That's it for today. On the next video, I will talk about how to configure tenants using Apache Pinot. Until next time, happy clustering!